Oh, you went back? Oh. I can just remember laying on the table and I could hear the doctor saying stuff. And I could hear him saying something was on his stomach that wasn't supposed to be there. And I remember looking at Mike and saying, "What's wrong now?"
So when he came out, they said, well, you might want to take a look at this too. The bladder's exposed. And then they're, well, you might want to come over and take a look at this because he has no anus right now.
The whole pregnancy, we had known that there was going to be the growth on his head, but we had no idea about anything else.
It happens around the 6th week of the mother's pregnancy when the fetus is about the size of an American quarter. The abdominal wall, the muscles and the bones of the pelvis don't fuse in the midline, so the midline of the body is open and the bladder simply is exposed and opens to the outside of the body.
Johns Hopkins Children's Center with Dr. Gerhardt are the experts of this in the world, and we wanted to have this procedure done in the best hands we possibly could.
Robbie had an 8-hour surgery a few weeks ago.
This is the major surgery. This is the one that, he's tied to the bed for 6 weeks and can't move.
And this is the one we were wanting to have done, but also dreading to have done just because of the 6 weeks and not being able to pick him up or hold him or anything like that.
Paul Sponsar, our professor of pediatric orthopedic surgery, cut the pelvic bones just above the hip joints and then again just below the spine. And what this does is allows the pelvic bones to be more malleable so that one can close the tummy and close the pelvic bones together, get the bladder down deep inside where it belongs.
He's laying flat on his back. His legs are actually weighted down with some weights at the end of the bed so he can't move. He's heavily sedated and things like that to keep a 15-month-old from moving around a whole lot.
It's really probably emotionally harder on the parents than the kid.
Our big thing is if we can get done with this, we have a few years before we have to have any other major surgeries, which is going to be nice because for the last 15 months, it's been about every 3 or 4 months with a different surgery.
I can even remember Michael and I when we were like, should we just move to Baltimore? Like, does it make more sense for us to move to Baltimore and do things there? Just because to have this in your backyard is amazing.
I mean, just the service you get and the compassion and care that the nurses, the doctors, everybody has shown us makes it a really simple choice why it is number one. We
definitely have our bumps in the road and stuff like that, but we try to always look at it and trust that the right thing is going to happen, and we know this is what's right for Robbie.
We just had this in our hands because God or somebody knew that we would be able to handle this and do the right things for him. So that's why we're here at Johns Hopkins Children's Center.